Guys, very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the video number 346, and in this video we are going to talk about how to compile the text files data, or you can say how to actually export the data from the different text files one by one in the Excel. And this is going to be the Excel VBA. We're going to have a lot of fun here because this is going to be very interesting and super advanced stuff in terms of the VBA programming. So I received this question from somebody. Unfortunately I just lost that email, but long time back this email came, and I'm going to actually upload the video today, going to tell you that how you can achieve this task. If you're watching the channel for the first time, we have Access VBA, Excel VBA. All these 346 videos are on these four subjects. And in order to work with the text files, first you got to have this, you need to go in this playlist, which is Excel VBA file handling, and you will find here around 8-10 videos. Out of that, you need to work, first of all, watch 3 to 4, 3 to 5, and 3 for 1. This is going to give you a good understanding how to work with the text files. If you know that, very good, you can start with the video. If you do not know, you can watch, but still I would recommend you first you should have your concept clear watching these videos, because these are the basic videos, especially 3 to 4 and 3 to 5. So we have 42 different playlists, as you can see on my left. This is Excel VBA connecting Outlook, this is Excel VBA arrays, this is Excel VBA functions. Similarly, this is all about the Access VBA. This is simply about the normal Excel, the front end Excel. So that's how we actually created this channel. You have the basic videos, you have the advanced level videos, you will get everything here. All right, so this introduction I always give in my in the beginning of the videos, because I know every time I get new people on the channel and they watch, so they should understand actually where they have landed up. So they should understand also that actually have what they are watching right now is going to make a lot of sense to them, and it is going to add a lot of value to their professional life. Guys, this is the task in front of us. As you can see, I have a folder here which is on my desktop, and the folder is here. I go in the content, and then in the content I have another folder which is dump, and I'm on the dump folder, and I have a lot of text files. Well, there are 3 files, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to run the loop, and loop is going to cover even if you have 500 files, 100 files, 200, whatever. I want to show you actually these text files have different data. For example, this has 4 columns separated by the space. If you look at the file, this has only 2 columns, again separated by a space, and this has again 4 columns. So we're going to actually export this data from the text file to the Excel, or you can say that from the Excel we're going to import the data from these text files. And so this is my Excel, and this is where we actually would like to see that data. So how to do that? So generally we are going to work with the text file. So you should know actually first of all which class you are going to use. You use when you work with text files. Well, we have a class, and that is called the scripting, guys. Okay, scripting is a library which we are going to use with the file system object. Okay. Scripting is a library, and under this library we're going to use the file system object. Right, I've talked about this in many of my videos. As I was telling you, you can go and check that Excel VBA file handling playlist. Then we will run the loop, and we will see that for each text file in that folder, we're going to run the loop, and it is going to open all the files. So we're going to open the text files one by one. Open text file one by one. So first, when you have the first text file open, we are going to actually read the data. Okay, and that too line wise, because you never know how many lines you have, how much data you have in the text file. So we are again going to run the loop. Okay, so there will be another loop. So loop in the loop, this is going to be terrific video. So we will use the 2 loops. One is to loop to all these text files which are available in your folder here, because I want to cover all these 3 text files. But in the text file itself, you have a lot of lines. So here you need to run this loop 4 times, for example. And if you go ahead and see this, maybe here you need it, run it again 4 times, but maybe it can be 10 times, 20 times. It doesn't matter. Every text file can have a different data, of course. So, and then finally, what we will do, we will export the data in the Excel. That's it. Once you have read the data, you're going to export the data in the Excel. What else you need? That's it, right? So we're going to see how we can do that. So let's go ahead and first of all make the code. Go in the Visual Basic, and I'm going to insert the module. Now in the module, the first thing which I will do, as I was talking about, we are going to use the Microsoft scripting runtime. The library, this scripting library. So it comes from the Microsoft scripting runtime. So what you need to do is you just need to check mark this. Check mark this Microsoft scripting runtime. Now once you have the scripting runtime on, now the next time when I'm going to fetch or maybe import the data, let's say this is the macro name. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to write here dim FSO as scripting file system object. Okay, file system object, and then the next line would be the FSO equals to new file system object, or you can also prefix the scripting file system object. Now this FSO is going to open the gate for for the methods. We can define the folders, we can get the folder open, because guys, you need to define the folder as well, because you don't know which folder actually I'm talking about. So we will have to define. Now my folder actually is this one, so I'm going to copy the complete path. So how are you going to do that? You will define your folder as scripting.folder. This is how we are going to use the folder class. So now set FOL, which is my now object variable FOL. It has to be equals to what? It has to be equals to FSO dot, because FSO actually library is the this method where we can open actually the folder. So you can write folder get folder, and you can write within the quotes this one. So this is the folder now set up, right? So now going forward, we will define only the FOL, and that means that would be your actually folder called the dump. Okay. Now because we want to run the loop, so I'm going to define dim as my file as scripting dot file. Okay. Now what will happen? I'm going to use the loop for each my file in my folder dot files. This is how you use the code, right? So if you just run this is a collection loop actually. If you don't know anything about the collection loops, please go ahead and watch the Excel VBA collection loops playlist. There are like 10-12 videos over there, or maybe I think more than that, I don't remember, but I have talked about all these collection loops in a very from the very basic level. Of course there are extreme advanced level videos as well, but because if you're a beginner, then you can start with those collection loops, right? Collection loops actually are always run on the auto gear. You really don't have to keep on shifting the gear, because they are going to run by themselves. For each my file in folder.files, it means that let us cover the every file one by one. For each file in the folder, your folder is the content in the dump, that the folder actually have already given the path. So in this folder, whatever the files you have, just access them one by one. This is how it goes, so when the next runs, it goes to the next file, when again next goes to the again next file. So this keeps on running as long as you have the files. Once it is going to be access the last file, loop will stop, and it will out of this next. So I can show you if I write here my file dot name. Let me just run this just for the fun. If I'm going to run this, see what will happen. You got the first file, perfect. Then you got the second file, perfect. The third file, now there is no other file, that, and the macro finishes, right? So in this way you can run this code. Now, of course, we don't need this message box, right? This is just for your understanding. I'm just going to put the comment. What actually you need is what you need to understand. We have got the file name using this command, myfile.name. What is left? Well, we will like to open it, obviously, because if you can't open it, how will you read it? So to read the content of this file 1.txt or whichever file code is going to access, we will have to open it. Now to open it, you need the file. If you need the file, obviously you will have to tell VBA which is going to be your file, right? So to do that we will have to define the file. So I'm going to write here my text file as scripting. You're not going to use the file. Remember, file is not the class which you're going to use for the text. You will use the text stream, because this is your text file. This file is entirely different. This is going to help you in your loop for each file. It can be anything. It can be Excel as well, but this is only specifically text stream. So this is only going to work for this piece, the text file. Right? Now what you need to do is so when you have this file, when you have declared this file here, I'm going to open that file. My text file equals to so open my file, open text file. Okay, so this is what we're going to use, open text file. Start the bracket, and guys, which file would you like to use? Well, whatever it comes in the loop. So in the loop, that the file is this one. But if you run this, it will throw the error, invalid path, and the reason is very simple, because my file name would come as 1.txt. How are you gonna find it out, how your VB is going to find it out, where is your this text file actually laying, where it is placed. So you will have to tell that it actually is laying to the folder called tent and then underscore, the backslash actually down the desktop basically. So you know that this is already defined in the folder. So what I will do, I will simply write here folder, and I'm going to join it with the backslash and then and the file name. So when you run this, what is going to give you exactly this output. If you go to the right click and go to the property windows, and this is a very minor thing, that's why I'm not really able to explain you on the F8 mode. This is, I think you can understand. So this complete path, the file name would come. That is why we are actually concatenating it. Once the file is open, what is the next thing, guys, you want to do? Well, the next thing I want to do is I want to simply read the content one by one, right? I don't want to export it, the exit. So we can start from here. Let's say, so I'm gonna give the row number as the dim r as, let's say, long. I'm going to start the row as from the 1. So here you can write cells, and then you can write r and then 1. Dot value equals to what? Equals to your my text file, and then read the line. Okay, whatever the line it is going to, and it will start with the first line, right? So this loop will keep running, but the point is basically we haven't made any loop in this particular line. It will read the line and it will go in the next, and then it will capture the next file, which is 2.txt, whatever it is. So you have the 4 lines in one text file, but this is going to read only one line. So that means you will have to write one more loop here. So that first it should cover the first 4 lines of my first text file and then go to the bigger next. Here we will write one more program, and this is what we're going to write: do loop until, or maybe I can write simply do loop only, not the until word. Do loop, do while actually, not my file at end. There's a property actually which is, sorry, I've written my file. It's on my file. Your file is text file, right? We are talking about the text file. So you write the text file at end of stream. Right? So this is your loop, and here we're gonna write loop. Perfect. So we're using the do loop inside the for each. Wow, this is a very perfect blend of learning the the loops. Okay, so now what does this basically this do is, you're saying that keep running this loop the time not on the last line, you're not on the end of the stream. So if you have the 4 lines, or if you have the 40 lines or 400 lines, keep running that loop, okay, and keep hitting that value. But the point is, you can't open the text file every time when this loop runs, because this has to open only once. So I'm going to cut this, and actually I'm going to open it here, the bigger loop, right, before it jumps into the lower loop, the inner loop actually. Okay, once the file is open, then I would like to keep running this loop until I'm through with all the lines, all the data of that text file. Once it is done, then after the loop, you can write here, you will have to write that close the file. We are done with that. So that this next goes, and again for each my file, so turn for the next file, then .txt should open, because here you will have a new name then. Okay, path remains same. So in this way we can export the data, we can import the data in Excel. Now let us go ahead and check this if you are through with this. I'm going to run the code, guys. There we go. Alright, everything looks good, no error. So first of all, this file is going to be opened, which is 1.txt. You will not be able to see it, but it is going to be opened in the memory. Excel will create a the object for this and the separate place for this, and it is going to happen in the behind the curtains. Everything will happen. So now this is the file which is going to be opened. Now I'm saying that run this file until you are through with all the line. This is going to read the first line. So now we should be seeing here something here in the row number 1, and there we go. Remember, this was the header, right? Now do we have another line here? Well, yes, we have. Remember, there were 4 lines. Now again it is going to be on the second row, and but one thing I forgot to do is, basically if I run this, you see it is going to overwrite everything, right? So you're not incrementing the row number, so row you will have to increment equals to r plus 1. Okay, no problem. Let's just run the line again. There we go. So we have the header. we have done another line, we have the another line, we have the 4 lines. That's it, I think. And there we go, right? So now the text file is going to be closed. It is closed. Next for the next file. So next file is going to come, which is .txt, right? We have a 2.txt. Now it is going to run in that. So you already know that R is 5, right? So on the 5th row, I'm gonna have another serial number and city, which is coming from the second text file. There we go. Again, this also going to run all the lines. Now the text file, we will close it, and now we're gonna have another text file, which is a.txt. I think this is the last one. So we're gonna run this. Okay. Perfect. Next, I don't think so there is any other file, so it should go to the enter, and yes, it is enter, right? So guys, in this way you can export, import the data in the Excel. And so what you can do is, once you have the data here, maybe you can simply you can just select this data. You can record the macro for this as well. There's not a problem. Just record the macro and do these all steps as I'm going to do. Go to the data and go to the text to column. The text to column, obviously it is all separated by the space. Just uncheck this tab, so you have all the numbers coming here, right? Maybe you can use the tab as also, because I think tab is also used, but anyways, you can take the best shot from here. Now you can see in the preview everything looks perfect, so just go and next and finish, and you have your data. So I'm gonna just resize this, reset this, I'm gonna auto fit this, and you have your data here, right? I'm actually not sure what exactly you can do with this, because I don't understand why we need to compile the data over here or with the headers. Actually, what I'm trying to do this video is, I'm trying to answer my subscribers question, and also I'm trying to give you more options, so that if in any case you want to import the data from the text file, this is how you use. Because if you know these codes, and of course the rest of the videos which I was talking about, whatever on project you're working on, you can combine all these things. I understand that this might not be the direct code which you are going to use, but it is all about the learning and understanding the logic. If you have the logics clear, you can make your own project also by looking at these videos. Right? So this was pretty awesome. I hope we have used the 2 loops, and this file is also something which many of Excel users, they don't know. So I hope that is also going to enhance your knowledge. So guys, that's it, and I'm gonna come back with some another exciting stuff very soon. You please subscribe to the channel and support, and keep posting your comments. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.